my loves, Jarae, Milay, the girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with a Starz Network P-Valley Season 2 episode, I don't know, okay, review. So, the episode kicks off with Big Bone and Diamond, baby, and they going at it, okay? Smack, smack, smack. Diamond's pretty much blowing her back in, but he can't focus because he keeps thinking about dreamy Keyshawn, okay? So it, like, you know, he's just imagining Keyshawn is the one who he's, you know, having sex with. And while he's having sex, he flips her over to her back or whatever, you know, give her those good old back shots. And not for nothing, I was just thinking about the fact that they have a whole child together right now, and I would have been like so over it, like, you're not even about to be dreaming about nobody else, even in the film, like I am that type of person. But she gets up and she notices Montavious' ring or whatever. She tried to play it off, but you know, you could tell she knew it was his. Like, she looks closer and saw that it was his. And she like, what you doing with that? Or he was just like, oh, I need some protection or whatever case. And she was like, you look like you ain't the one that need protection. You ain't the type of man that needs some type of protection. And she was just like, you know, she knows more than what she's letting on, because even the whole, she said, you keep coming in that condom, and I told you I wanted it in my mouth. And he was like, I don't need no hexes on me either, baby, or something like that. So she knows more, and I'm not surprised that she's going to be the one to find out what's going on with Montavious, you know, that little group that she was with. She's probably gonna you know, be linked to that somehow. That was that, you know, they have sex again, and you know, down in the valley where the girls get naked, you feel me? And then that's how the opening scene comes on. And then the very opening scene was of HVH, Hurt Village, Hurt Village Homies or something, whoever the hell. And it's like a little get together, okay? They had a little quick little, you know, Liddy situation. And Lil Murda comes out and pretty much gives Big Teak a car, like one of these throwback old school Pimp My Ride Jones. Like, you know, Little Teak is, or Lil Teak, right? Not little by Lil Teak. Big Teak is overwhelmed with emotion. He's overwhelmed that, like, you know, he's having this moment with his boy, you know what I mean, who he loves. He loves Lil Murda, period. More ways than one. But also, you know, he's getting love. Like, the love is finally coming back to him after being locked down for so long. And we're back at the pink, and Big L turns the water off on Haley. And she's like, why the water turned off? I just paid the water bill. And he's like, oh, well, you ain't paid me. So he's like, Big L, make sure you turn this water back on. And Uncle Clifford is talking to Big L like, we just gonna have to kill her. Because, you know, she want to sell the pink. She doing what she got to do. Uncle Clifford's trying to figure out what is going on with Haley. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this dog. Uncle Clifford is trying to figure out her next move or whatever. And it was like, we could turn her into the police, but obviously that won't work because, you know, they got some history, they got some bones. Big L says, you know, I got another little shipment coming in from Duffy. And Uncle Clifford is like, you know, I don't like messing with the plug life or whatever, which I'm surprised. I didn't know that Uncle Clifford knew that, you know, Duffy was, you know, Duffy was the supplier. We have Mercedes and Shell seeing Mercedes is coming over to bring some groceries for the house. She opens up the door, and Shell looks like she's been drinking all night and all morning. She opens the refrigerator, girl, ain't nothing but 2 moldy oranges, okay? And in these 2 moldy oranges, she's putting the stuff away, and she's like, you called Terica a mistake last night when you were drunk or whatever the case. And she was just like, I would never. Mercedes says, listen, get yourself together. You need some help. And she's like, I don't need any help. I need a job, and I ain't talking about no job on no pole. And you know, I think that now, like, the stripper life is really glorified, but for real, we all know, like, the stigma that comes when you work in the adult industry, period. So she says, oh, she can come stay with me for a little while. And she's like, yeah, I ain't letting my daughter go live in no hellhole house in the hood or something like that, girl. That was a wordy one. And Mercedes just says, it doesn't matter what I do. You're never gonna think I'm good enough, which is gotta be a hard situation to be in, because that's my child. Period. Period. And the next thing, we have Lil Murda and Big Teak at a diner. They getting some hot wings. They got some lemon pepper wet, okay? Lemon pepper wet. And you know, the girl flirts with him, the waitress or whatever. They start talking about their first date that was in jail. He was just like, you know, so, you know, he was like, you know, we were standing there with the pasta, it was candlelight or whatever. So this is their first real date, which is really nice. You can tell that there's so much love there. There's so much chemistry and sexual tension. Like their scenes are so good. And there's something about Lil Murda's eyes, what he looks like. He's, first of all, handsome as hell. And so is Big Teak, not for nothing. But then they talk about Clifford or whatever. He was like, who is Clifford? It was like she, and he was like, yeah, well, she likes to be called a he or whatever. He was like, how did that even make sense? He was just like, I don't know. I just roll with it. Like, that's what I like. And, you know, Teak says, you know, feel like so much changed since she's been gone. The world changed. And, you know, if you ever been around somebody who's done a 10-year stretch, like, you know, there's a learning curve, and you have to get used to living life on the outside. Lil Murda said he messed up with Clifford. He was like, you know, Clifford, it was like a hitting 3 7s on a Saturday night. And, you know, Clifford is like an eclipse, and all of these, you know, beautiful poetic ways of describing the love that they have. And, you know, Lil Murda just said, I effed it up. You know what I mean? I effed it up. And then Big Tick was like, yeah, you got a habit of effing stuff up. You know what I mean? You really do. And then he tried to like put his hand out there to see, like, you know, rekindling maybe. And Big Tick like moved his hand back. He was like, it's all forgiven. You know, that was a powerful scene. So in the next scene we have Keyshawn. She grabs the gun out of her little air vent, and she is getting ready to pow pow. She tries to you know, she got her kids together. She's like, come on, baby, we gonna go on a trip. Gets in the car, gets the kids all together, and she's shaking, she's scared, and the battery's out the car. Like, so she just goes back in the house. Like, she really just tried. And for real, when you're in a domestic abusive situation, you try to leave multiple times. Like, and this is our first time of us seeing Keyshawn actually doing the footwork of actually leaving. So let's go. Well, they're at the gas station. They like, yeah, he says, you gotta show me how to do this, bro. Like, I don't even know how to do it. And again, that learning curve when you get out of the joint. Then Big Teak is on the radio. I mean, not Big Teak, Lil Murda is on the radio. Beautiful scene. Like, you know, everybody talk about that, you know, scene, or, you know, in the music industry when you finally hear your song on the radio. And they were at the gas station. Like, the gas station is such a staple in down south life. Like, you meet people at the gas station. And, like, it's just where it's at. Like, it's like the equivalent to like the corner store. You know, I got like a real popular store in the hood. Like, the gas station, that's what it gives for down south. So then in the next scene we have Roulette and Whisper at a spades tournament, okay, at another club. And they killing it, as you know they always do. And we see Whisper kind of look at Roulette in this way that was kind of like she was interested, like, you know, it's kind of like one of those things. But Roulette was approached by a guy, was like, yo, what's up with the foreign? Tell her I got 2 stacks if she just let her eat her box or whatever. And she was like, dang, 2 stacks just to lay on her back? I don't think she play like that. You ain't offer me that. And he was just like, oh, don't worry, it's gonna come back to you or whatever the case. He was like, yeah, set it up for me, ask her. And it was weird, but I think that Roulette is jealous of Whisper. And I think it might be a nod to just the N words. You get what I'm saying? How they be. I know how the whole colorism thing works, and in the strip club there's always this sort of preference. Joe Budden just spoke out about it, like, you know, it is what it is, girl. I don't feel like going all into it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So in the next scene we have Farrah, Coach, and Mercedes about to have a little Mercedes experience again, girl. And Farrah and Mercedes tells Farrah, like, girl, don't mess up my bag. You know what I mean? We got to keep that between me and you. We can't tell Coach what happened. Like, you know, ain't he gonna get mad? And you know, Farrah was just like, girl, let him get mad, I don't care. And then long story short, you know, they having the Mercedes experience, and the Coach just, you know, the Mercedes and Farrah, they just started doing their own thing or whatever, girl. They was holding hands and looking at each other in the eye. And Coach got upset, was like, what the fuck? Get up, get it. You cheating on me? Bitch, you done turned my wife out. Like, what? How that just flip like that? You know what I'm saying? He was like, I know when 2 women are together now, you bumping boxes like a effing pro, you know, whatever the case. And Farrah was just like, yeah, it's been 19 years and you just now noticing that I like box too. You know what I mean? What about my dreams and all this? So Mercedes is in the back like, yeah, what about her dreams? He was like, you get out. And she was like, well, what about my money? A deal's a deal. And then Farrah was like, you can't break a deal or whatever. And he was like, oh, whatever. He puts the money back. He had her $40,000 for the month. And baby, you know, Farrah just handed her the shoes. I was like, damn, I really didn't think that it was going to end like that, which I'm sure we're going to see more of. We have to see more of Coach and Farrah. Farrah's going to end up giving her that money somehow or another. What y'all think? Drop down in the comments. You think Farrah going to circle back and make right on her promise, well, promise at the Coach? So Miss Autumn crashes the black tie event. She looks beautiful, okay, Jessica Rabbit type of vibe. You know, Andre, lusty Andre, y'all. You know, he can't handle himself when Miss Haley's around. And they crash the party. Corbin escorts her out. Duffy and Roulette have a cute exchange, and he was just like, you know, you're fine to me. You know, you're the most beautiful girl in the world. And she was like, girl, in a parking lot, and it's giving like little like self-esteem vibes. You know, not for nothing, people think that strippers are always so confident. And a lot of times, you know, people don't be as confident as they put on, and they do things like strip or whatever to seek that outside validation. And, you know, Duffy says, you know, I think you're the most beautiful girl. And she was like, in the parking lot. And, you know, she was like, yeah, I like you, Duffy, but I'm a hoe. And Duffy was like, yeah, well, I'm a hoe too. And they kissed. That was cute. He should have been like, and I'm a trick. But no, whatever. So we hear Derek coming back to the home, and Keyshawn has her gun drawn. Then at the last second, she just you know, puts it away. And I want to circle back for a second because Grandma Ernestine got COVID. And she's watching like one of those ID investigate type of situations, Fatal Love Attraction, which I think is kind of foreshadowing for an upcoming episode where Keyshawn actually does try to shoot Derek. Derek pretty much basically says, next time I go back over to Jim's house, I want the kids to come. He's like, yeah, you didn't go anywhere today. He was just like, nah, I just stayed in the house. But Derek, you know, you took that battery out the car. So, you know, that little mind game manipulation control tactic is sickening. So Wody calls Berta, and in the process, you know, he just talks about Rome. And he was like, yeah, Rome told me about, he talks about Rome. He was like, yeah, it's crazy how he OD'd. And he was like, how you know that? He was like, I got a way of handling stuff. And he was like, yeah, I think just went in to go get some weed. They start talking. He was like, yeah, he had a tape. He knew about everything. He was like, everything like what, or whatever the case. And when the phone hangs up, and Lil Murda realizes that he left his gat. So he goes into the house to give him the gat, and he sees Tika, and they're kind of having like a, you know, a PTSD moment, a panic attack. And he was like, bro, what you doing in here? He was like, man, this used to be my house. And he goes down into this emotional breakdown, or not emotional breakdown, but you could just tell he was hurt. He was like, this used to be my house. And Lil Murda's like, used to be, you know what I mean? Used to be. We gonna be out of here. We're gonna be out of this place tomorrow. It's gonna be in the rear view. We're gonna get the tour up and running, and we about to do it, man. Back at the party, and Haley gets Miss Batson. I guess she's like the owner of Promised Land, to give her a better offer than $40,000 on the pink, which, you know, good for her. She's a savvy girl. And then the next thing, Andre is home alone, and he's on the phone with Corbin, and Corbin's going off that Autumn bitch, I need the blah blah blah, or whatever the case. Haley is right in the house. Oh, he was calling her Autumn Nightmare. And then Leslie Andre was just like, get out. You know, you ruin everything in the process. And then it was just like this whole power struggle. And Autumn gives him power. It's like, I'll do whatever you say. She's like, take off your dress. So she takes off the dress. And, you know, girl, it was a stroke of the ego. I think that he likes the power that she wields, and vice versa. And together they could wield a lot of power, with him being the mayor and her being a power player, a new power player in Chuckalisa. Finally they have sex. Is it me, or was that sex scene underwhelming? Like, we waited this long. I don't know. I mean, it was cute. Was it bad? I never made, but I don't know. I just feel like it should have given. I wanted more. I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed. So we're at a little lake, and very, very tough scene. Big Teak is talking and discussing, you know, how he was in the hole or whatever. He was like, that wasn't my first time ever being in the hole. You know, he talked about a childhood trauma, which I don't want to talk about too much because, you know, YouTube is funny. but it deals with, you know, the S word. He was trying to get rid of Lil Murda, and Lil Murda was like, I'm staying with you. Why can't I stay with you? And then, you know, whatever, like seeing those signs, like when they were at the chicken wing spot, he was like, yeah, I'm glad you're getting your appetite back. And then when he got a haircut, he had said something like, you know, casket sharp or whatever. You know, those little themes were kind of hidden and woven throughout the whole episode. And Big T pulls the gun out on himself. And Lil Murda is nervous, like, please, baby boy, I got you. I got you. I got you. And he was like, nah, this ends here. And y'all know what he did. You know, he actually went through with the act while Lil Murda was in the car. I thought he was going to be able to talk him off the ledge. Honestly, I did. I didn't think it was going to end like that. Just such a serious topic. And just be there for your people, y'all. There's online training that you can take free to help someone de-escalate from a situation like that. Y'all, it's really help out there. People care more than you think they do. And be there for your people. Okay? That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. And I don't know, I just feel like mental health in the Black community is so overlooked and stigmatized and everything like that. But y'all, we be up against a lot. We're up against a lot, Black men and Black women. Okay, so take care of your mental health. I can't stress how important it is. I'm gonna move on because it's too personal. It's too personal for me. Little baby, girl, I want to call him everything else but Lil Murda. Lil Murda shows up to Cliff's house and he just says something, I'm not okay. And it's something about that line is so emotional for me, because sometimes like you can't even say like, I'm just not okay. So, you know, that's that. I'm gonna end this video because like now I'm all weird and emotional. So make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up, help me on the YouTube algorithm, consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.